Wow, that wasn't an Ace Duck figure, was it? Because that kind of looked like Ace Duck. I believe someone in that video referred to it as Ninja Duck, but I have a feeling it was Ace Duck. Here's the cool thing about Ace Duck. Ace Duck was never actually in the cartoon. He was marketed and packaged as a Ninja Turtles action figure, but his only tie to the show at all was that he once appeared in like a 3-second, maybe, long clip in which the Ninja Turtles were in their sewer watching the Ace Duck movie, or something like that. That is the sum of Ace Duck's contributions to the Ninja Turtles lore. Although I believe the back of the box gives a different story. I think, and you'd be hard-pressed to prove me wrong about this unless you happen to have that box handy, but I think the box says something like Ace Duck was Krang's personal jet pilot in Dimension X, or something like that. But no, totally never actually really a character in the cartoon. Thus making his action figure kind of interesting, I think. Also, speaking of Game Genie, I believe my family had a Game Genie for the NES, but I don't remember actually ever using it that much myself. I will say, though, that I was a big fan of Game Shark for the Nintendo 64. Matt Gardner, fellow Game Cola writer Matt Gardner, and I would try to make our own codes for different games, mostly for Mario 64. And here's what I mean by we'd try to make our own codes. We would get a code off of the internets and put it in our Game Shark, see what it did, and then open the game, and then reset the game, open Game Shark again, and play with the numbers, change the numbers and letters of the code to see what would happen. Thus making, not entirely new codes, but alterations of pre-existing codes. My favorite example of this is that we took a code that was called, I believe, Limbo Mario, in which Mario would kind of run around with his neck really arched back as though he was trying to do limbo. And we played with that until his neck and head were arched back really, really, really far, to the point where it looked like Mario was literally running around with his head shoved straight up his tuchus. It was pretty fantastic, I'm gonna be honest. Might even still be saved onto my Game Shark right now. I should look into that. Oh. So hey, how about that Mario 2? I don't think I've talked about it once in this video. It's a great game. I might have mentioned that already, though. Speaking of Nintendo, I visited Nintendo World today in New York City. My girlfriend and I took a train to New York City for the day to partake in some Christmas festivities. But I'm at the end of this level, so maybe I'll talk about that later. I think now I'm going to turn it over to... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to turn it over to Michael Gray for the next video. I'm going to turn it over to a special guest star. That's right. We're going to have a special guest star today in this walkthrough, and he's coming up next.